Planning. You got to make time for your goals. You see, once you've established that your goal is worth pursuing, right? You need to dedicate time to actually work on it. The most effective way to do this is by literally doing time blocks. You got to budget your time the same way you budget your money. Now, I'm about to say this and really piss some of y'all off. Some of y'all gonna be like, well, how do you budget your time? Because I don't budget my money. I get it. And so hopefully today you'll understand the importance of budgeting, period. You see, everyone gets upset about budgeting, but budgeting gives you freedom. It gives you freedom to really enjoy what you're doing during that time. When you're budgeting for your money, I was about to purchase something. No. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Let me go deep. Let me go deep. Now I'm gonna say deep. Let me go real. I set aside money every month. So prime example, I was going to ILS, and I know when we go to ILS, God is gonna do something amazing. And so I set aside a budget that I say, you know what? If God moves, I'm gonna sow a seed. I believe in sowing seeds, not saying that's on you. But I say, you know what, let me put this to the side. And so that way, whatever I can sow into, I can sow into. I set money to the side. And it was a lot. And when Bishop got up on stage and when the leaders got up on stage and said, hey man, I want you to sow into this, man of God, I want you to sow into that. And I said, man, okay. And he asked for a number. And honestly, it stretched me to sow that much, but I had already set it to the side. I was free because I already know it's not impacting my business. It's not impacting my personal life. It's not impacting nothing else. But I could have used that money for something else, right? But I said, you know what? I'm gonna actually budget my money for it. You guys, the same way I budget my money, I also budget my time. So time blocking, it involves scheduling non-negotiable time slots throughout your workday and throughout your week to work specifically on your goals without any distractions. Zero distractions. Every single morning I get up and I work out, and that's a time block, and I stay focused on that for that 45 minutes. Then I have another block to where it's just nothing but reading and just growing my mind. I really had to get off of certain apps and certain things that was a distraction because it was stopping me from really studying and focusing on my time block, right? Because I was like, man, you know, why do I feel like I'm off somewhere? And I started noticing that I'm exchanging my time for things that are not valuable. They're not getting me closer to my money goals. They're not getting me closer to building a vision for my life. They're not getting me closer to my love life. It's distracting me from certain things. So you gotta sit down some time and sit down and be like, you know what? For the next 45 minutes, I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna study. Studies are showing nearly right now, currently in the year 2023, that nearly 70% of people live in paycheck to paycheck. When you dive deeper into this study reveals that out of that 70%, a large portion of those are people who make over six figures. These are people who are living paycheck to paycheck because of inflation, because of job loss. But a lot of people saying, man, we have an income problem. And here's the truth. We don't really have an income problem. We have a lack of utilizing our gifts and skills problem. You have the skills, you have the talents that God put on the inside of you. And I want to ask you this question. I want to be very honest. Are you utilizing them correctly? Or are you just going to work, getting that check, coming home, and not really utilizing your gifts and skills to build wealth, to pay off debt? Well, listen, I am hosting a 100% free masterclass here with the next few days, and I'm teaching people how to build a personal brand, how to use the gifts and the skills that God put on the inside of you and turn that into an extra $1,000 to $5,000 a month to go towards paying off debt, to go towards, building an emergency fund, to go towards building your dream home. But I'm gonna go even a step further. What if you can use the same principles I'm gonna be teaching for free? You make an extra $1,000 to $5,000, but what happens if you could turn it into a six-figure income or maybe a seven-figure income within the next couple of years? Well, if you are ready to take control of your money, if you're ready to utilize the gifts and the skills God has given you to build a legacy, to build wealth for yourself, can you meet me? I want you to go to anthonyoneal.com/save my seat. Again, that is anthonyoneal.com/save my seat. Or you can click the link in today's show notes. It's 100% free. Come join me. Let me show you how my team and I, built a seven-figure brand and how we can put $1,000 in your pocket within the next 30 to 60 days. I'll see you soon. One of my good friends, he goes by Upset the Gram on Instagram, Pastor Tim Ross. A lot of you all follow him, the popular podcast, The Basement. And he said, you know, every single day, him and his sons, they set aside time to study and read one chapter of the book of Proverbs every single day. And when he said that to me, I said, man, I'm gonna do that. He said, for the rest of this year, every single month, we're reading Proverbs. It's 31 chapters in there. You go back, you read the book of Proverbs, boom. Next month, boom. Day 1, chapter 1. Day 2, chapter 2. And I was like, man, that's honestly brilliant. So now I'm doing that. I set aside time to read. I set aside time to work on my goals. I set aside time every week to meet with my team members, just to check in on them, give them update on what the company is doing, how we're evolving. We have easy conversations. We have hard conversations. We set aside time because that's what I value. Our goal is to be one of the number one. I'm gonna say the number one. I don't want to say I want to be number one, but we want to be one of the best organizations out there that's providing thought leader content, life-changing content that's helping you reach your money goals, that's helping you take your own seat at the table, that's helping you start your own business, that's helping you starting to build wealth. We want to provide valuable content. So every single week, I'm sitting down with my content lady. We're going through content, Michelle, who runs our show. Y'all see her. Y'all just saw her at the beginning of this show. We're always taking time. I'm setting some time aside to study that. We just launched a program. I set aside an hour a week so I can time block with my team to make sure that we're getting closer to our goals. The reason why the study said that out of the 20% of the people who actually sat down and wrote out their goals, only 30% of those 20% of individuals actually hit their goals. Why did the 70% who actually sat down and write down the goals and hit it? Is because, number one, they didn't really plan. They didn't make time for their goals. They didn't. Oh, I'm gonna write it down, and you expect it to just happen? Y'all hear me say this all the time. I'm gonna pray like it all depends on God, but I'm gonna work like it all depends on me. The reason why we've been able to build a 7-figure business is because, one, I understand my purpose. I understand, my assignment. I'm making sure that I am aligned and I'm going that way. The number two, I plan. I specifically sit down, I turn off my phone, and I work the plan. I study. I'm jumping on meetings. I am making sure that I am evolving and the company is evolving. You see, by setting aside specific periods of focused work, you're more likely to make consistent progress. Ooh. I'm gonna say it one more time. When you can set aside specific periods of focus work, not, half focus work, focus work, okay? Focus work. There's no distractions. We're in a day and time to where everyone's working from home, and we got our spouses at home, we got our kids at home. And I'm gonna respectfully say this, I don't have any kids, but you can't be focused if you have your kids and your spouses in your office or working around you 24/7. I think it's dope that you have your kids and you spend lunch with them, stuff like that, but when can you just really focus and study? When can you really focus and just really get it going? You have to eliminate your distractions. And sometimes family, friends, loved ones, girlfriends, boyfriends, they can be distractions. And they're not trying to be distractions, right? But you got to know how to, hey, you know what? I'm going to turn my phone off. You got to put a thing on do not disturb. You got to close the door. And you got to focus. Because when you can set aside specific periods of focused work, says one more time, you're more likely to make consistent progress. If you're not seeing consistent progress, it's because you're not being consistent with the periods of time when it comes to focus work. Put in the hours, put in the focus work, and I promise you, you're gonna be all right. Here's number 3, priorities. You got to set priorities. You got to break down your specific actions. Now that you have dedicated time, watch this, for your goal, decide how you'll spend that time effectively. I want you to create a list. I want you to create a list of next actions that will move your goal forward and focus on the most important item of each day, okay? You're gonna break down your goal into smaller, manageable tasks that will help you maintain momentum and prevent you from being overwhelmed. And what I mean by prevent you from being overwhelmed, I think sometimes because we just put so much, we got so much to do. We can look up on our board or we can look up on our calendar. There's a lot to do. That's cool. That's great. We all have a whole lot to do. If you're running a business, if you're a full-time worker and then you come home and you run your own business, we all have a lot to do. For me, what I've learned is I when it comes to budgeting my time, I even go deeper. Okay, cool. I got an hour of this time to work on this specific goal. What are the 3 things I need to happen during this hour? I got to research. I got to come up with a fact. I need to write 5 points for it, right? Or let's say for me, it's my studying hour block to where I go out there and I just study content. I just read. Why? What am I reading? What am I reading for? So I'm not wasting my time just going out on Google or just going out and looking at different vlogs and blogs and stuff like that. Like, no, okay, I specifically want to learn, okay, what are the new numbers when it comes to investment this year? So now I'm being very specific and I'm going to make sure that I'm setting priorities and I'm breaking it down with specific actions. I'm being very specific. What do I want to do? Okay, you want to pay off your debt and you want to do this. Okay, when you get your check, boom, what's the very first thing you're going to do specifically? You're going to go to the bank, you're going to go online, and you're going to make this payment. Or if you're saying, hey, I want to get out of debt, so I got to start making more money. Cool, great. How are you going to do that? You know what? For 2 hours a day, every single day, I'm going to come home and I'm going to work on my side business. Okay, cool. During those 2 hours, what are you going to do for the first 30 minutes? And why are you doing it? How does it help you get to that goal? The next 30 minutes, what are you doing? The next 30 minutes, what are you doing? The last 30 minutes of 2 hours, what are you doing? You have to get very, very specific with the actions when it comes to exchanging your time.